G'day. Today I'm going to demonstrate a software tool that I've developed for my English language learners. It's called Lexical Corpora, and it's a learner's dictionary which is optimized for a learner's language background and their level, and also the context within which they're asking their question about a lexical item, which could be a word, or it could be an expression, or some jargon or slang. So let's get started. Okay, so I'll go into details a little bit later, but first let's just try something straightforward. So in the search box lexical item here, I'm going to put the word brand, and the context, I'll make that marketing, and the learner level, I'll leave it B1. That's the default, that's the most common one, but you can go to beginner or up to advanced if you wish. And then the first language. Now you don't have to put anything in here, but I think just to show you the idea, I'm going to put Spanish speaker, and then press generate analysis, and then show you what happens. Okay, let's go through the output. I let that play through in real time because I wanted to give you a realistic idea of how long a query takes. And this may speed up, but if you consider the information that has been gathered together and some of the other elements here, you can understand that sometimes it might take a little while for the AI to work. AI is always getting faster, so I wouldn't worry about that too much. Let's look through the output here. So from the top, you'll notice that there is an export button here, and we'll look at that in a moment, but you can export all of this into a downloadable file. And the export is in a text format called Markdown that gives you basic formatting like headings and lists, and bold and emphasis and that sort of thing. But because it's a text file, it is very small, and also it's completely compatible with every operating system and every word processor and mobile devices and such. So I'll demonstrate that a little bit later. So obviously you've got your lexical item here, and I'm not going to just call it a word because it could be an expression. So I'm using the lexical item as what it is that we are focused on. Excuse me. And so the context and all of the settings that have been specified are included here on the output. There's a paragraph giving the meaning, and also, as you can see, the meaning or definition explanation has been tailored to the user's first language background. And of course the first language background can be anything. So this personalizes the response of the dictionary to the learner. And then of course you've got pronunciation here. You can also listen to the item on youglish.com, which I always recommend to my students. That should open in a new tab here. So it just makes it easy to listen to examples of this word in use by native speakers. If you're not familiar with youglish.com, please make yourself familiar. It's fantastic. So it's picked up 70,000 odd videos where the word brand is used. And of course, I can't control the contextual background in Youglish, but at least students can hear it being used in a variety of accents. So let's just play this one just as an example.
Or a luxury brand in Korea, or a social enterprise in Africa, we found.
Okay, and
or a luxury brand.
This little rewind button here is really useful so that they can just focus on the lexical item. Obviously, for multi-syllable items or even multi-word lexical expressions, the intonation and pronunciation is going to be demonstrated as well. So that's fantastic. Okay, so let's go back here. Word family. I think it's really important to indicate whether this lexical item has a word family, and if so, how to use it. And there's a bit of background here because the research that the AI does is actually in various very established and academically recognized corporas. From both American institutions and British institution. Also, there's thesaurus support here, so synonyms, antonyms, and idiomatic expressions and phrasal verbs, and also some guidance on register, how to modify this expression or whether it's appropriate in slang or colloquial use or informal or formal use. And then there is also a little check, concept checking, as a teacher would do, just to check that the user has it right. And if they don't, if they're still confused, or if they have any further questions, they can. There's a chat bot box here where further questions can be posed to the AI agent. And as you can see, the AI agent is retaining the settings and the background that were first set in this query. So that's all of the information there that is presented. So let's play around with some of the settings. The most common setting that users would play with is the first language setting. So on the left we have Spanish here, and you can see that the return is adapted for a Spanish speaker. And mainly in this area here, but it can also affect explanations further down. And so on the right here now you can see the response for Japanese as a first language. So the Japanese equivalent obviously, and then also the meaning as well, referring to similar expressions in Japanese. You may also notice that the actual report subheadings and organization is sometimes slightly different, and that's because I've given the AI agent in the background here some latitude in layout, so they are looking at the entire report in the context of the language, the first language of the user, so it may decide to organize things slightly differently. So that's altering the first language, and of course you can enter any first language here that you wish. So now let's look at level. On the left hand side we've got brand, marketing, first language Spanish, and B1 intermediate. And on the right hand side we've got brand, marketing, and Spanish again, but this time I've selected A1 beginner. And if you compare the report output here, you can see that the language has been simplified for beginners. So this affects not only the meaning description, but also the other sections, such as how it explains the word family and form, and also the corpus insights is simplified. The thesaurus support is also simplified. Language and register, all of that stuff has been adapted for the lower level language learner. So and also the practice as well. And of course the learner still has the chat box at the end, so they can ask further questions. So we can select the language level, and that works very well to make this one tool suitable for all levels. And it goes all the way up to proficient, which is near native speaker. Now let's look at context, and I think this is one of the main reasons why I developed this tool. English has so many examples where the same word has a different meaning in different contexts. And dictionaries have difficulty in dealing with this problem. Generally, they would list them, the different contexts. But with a tool like this, we can actually tailor the whole response around different contexts. So let's look at this again. So we've got the same word, brand, marketing, first language Spanish, at B1 level. But over here on the right, all of this is the same except for the context, the topic. Okay, so we're changing from marketing to farming. And of course, the meaning of brand is different in those two different contexts. So, and as you can see, this is reflected in the response. In business and marketing, a brand is a name, design, or symbol. In farming, the word refers to marking an animal with the symbol of the business name. And so, of course, the Spanish equivalent may be the same, but depending on the first language, they may have completely different first language equivalents for this. So I think this particular feature, the context or the topic, is one of the things that sets this Learner's Dictionary apart and makes it so much more useful. And this is one of the reasons why I created it for my learners. Right, now at the beginning of this video I mentioned the export capability, and this button here, export in markdown format. And I just want to explain a little bit why I've done that. In my experience writing software that tries to export output documents, it can be problematic to get a software program to format, for example, Microsoft Word or even PDF, even though theoretically it's possible. It's more possible to do something like open document format because it is an open source standard. But what I found to be the most reliable is what's called Markdown. So if you if you export in Markdown format, it comes down as a text file which kind of looks a little bit like this here. Okay, and so as you can see, it's just text, but it has these annotations. I'm just going to copy this. Okay, and I'll move this out of the way here. Right, so I want to show you what happens if you try to paste this into a Google document and also a Microsoft Word document. First of all, in a Google document. So if I try and paste this here, right-clicking, I've got these options: paste, paste without formatting, and paste from Markdown. If you just press paste, it's a little bit unpredictable. It will just do what it thinks it needs to do. If you paste without formatting, you get basically the unformatted text with all of the annotations. And if you paste with formatting, or rather if you paste from Markdown in a Google document, then everything gets properly formatted. As you can see, things like headings and also list items and also bold, that sort of thing. That's taken care of. Okay, so that's a Google document. So that allows you to then edit to your heart's content. In a Word document, the online version, Office 365, it's almost the same, except you don't have the option, excuse me, of just copying the text with the annotations as they are. Because, for example, if I press paste text only, it still converts it to formatted text, which is weird. If you paste as using the normal paste, it does the same thing. And so there seems to be less control in a Word document, but generally speaking, you know, you're going to want to format the text anyway, so that seems to be okay. All right, so that allows you to import the report from this software into anything. And I have noticed, I'm on a Mac here, but I have noticed on a Windows machine, even in Notepad, it has the ability to display the text in formatting. Okay, thank you. So just to wrap up, this software is a prototype. and I'm not a professional programmer, but I'll probably get this one done up by a professional programmer. In the meantime, I'm happy for people to play with it, test it, share it with their students. So I'm going to share a QR code here. Pop that up on the screen there, make it big, and that will allow you to access it on a mobile device. It works okay on a mobile device, probably better on a tablet, certainly fine on a desktop or laptop. So thank you very much for watching.